Hello guys, welcome back today. We're going to be talking about the Texas Stars, and not in a good way. Unfortunately, the Texas Stars lost to the Toronto Marlies in the 2018 Calder Cup Final. Now, I already made a video on the Toronto Marlies side of things. This one is going to be more focused on the Texas Stars side of things. Now, of course, the Texas Stars lost in 7 games against Toronto Marlies. It was an interesting series, and it was definitely a close one throughout. But honestly, coming into this series, I would be proud of them for getting this series close. I didn't think that they were going to make this close. I thought that Toronto was going to win in 5 games, and it was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. Coming out and getting 7 games, and getting it to a 7th game, the Texas Stars against the Toronto Marlies, I feel is a huge accomplishment. The Toronto Marlies are a stacked team. Like I said in my Toronto Marlies video, I felt like they were, of course, the heavy favorite against the Texas Stars, and for them to get it to 7 games is the most proud accomplishment for me. For them, man, they got really close, and they were 1 game away to beating arguably the best team in the AHL. But overall, I'm pretty proud of them for getting it so close. I did not expect them to be close at all with the Toronto Marlies. I thought the Toronto Marlies in most of the games would steamroll them, but Texas kept it really close, and they had a few games where it looked pretty damn good, but Toronto just overwhelmed them just a little bit at the end, and in Game 7, they didn't have the best performance either. And honestly, Texas should be real proud of getting that close. And while they, of course, they wanted to win the series, I felt like they had a great series compared to what a lot of people were expecting them to be, and even what I expected them to be. They played a lot better than I expected them to play against Toronto Marlies of all teams. I felt like Marlies were going to be, of course, the favorite in that series, and they were, and they played like it. But I felt like the Texas Stars had a closer series against Toronto Marlies than even I thought, and even a lot of other people thought. And of course, being 1 game away from the Calder Cup Final and winning the Calder Cup Final, I did not expect that either. One of the main reasons why they got this far was Mike McKenna, an absolute beast in the playoffs, and he was fantastic. Whatever game I'd watch from the Texas Stars, Mike McKenna was just stealing the show. Even in Game 7, when the Texas Stars played like crap, Mike McKenna was the only reason why that game was close for even a little bit of time. Mike McKenna was amazing, and was amazing throughout most of the playoffs, and if Texas were to win, Mike McKenna would be the MVP hands down. He was amazing. And you had other guys in the playoffs that also played pretty well. You had Derek McKenzie, you had Rube Hines, you got Dries, you got Dowling. There was a few guys that played very, very well. And the overall team was playing, I think, to its limits throughout the playoffs. They were playing a lot of overtime games, and they're playing a lot of games overall. And you could see it kind of snuck up to them in that final series, and especially in that Game 7. They didn't look like they were on top of their game. They didn't look like they were really rested up and ready for it. Pretty much the exact opposite of the Toronto Marlies, or pretty much the exact opposite as you compare them to the Toronto Marlies. And, they played a lot of games, they played a lot of periods, and of course that caught up to them in the long run. But even with all those periods that they played, they usually found a way to win. They usually found a way to get goals passed and for Mike McKenna to keep making saves. And they found a way to get to where they were. They just couldn't get over that hump once again. And with Toronto, they definitely looked like the better team, and they definitely were the better team. It was just like Texas kind of had that situational thing. They had the game plan, and they really stuck by it and really played it well. With Toronto, they were the better team, but Texas really used that plan and planned it pretty well and played pretty well with that plan. And with the Texas Stars versus the Toronto Marlies, it's not necessarily an exact comparison, but it does remind me a little bit, of course, this year's Stanley Cup with Vegas and Washington. With those 2 series with Texas, they remind me of Vegas, where they probably shouldn't be this good and probably shouldn't be as far as they are, but they have a game plan, and they've stuck by it, and they played pretty well. The Washington Capitals, they're the Toronto Marlies, where they've been a great team for a while, and they finally get over that hump. It had to take a while, but they finally did it. And the more and more I speak of it, and the more and more I think about it, that comparison is actually pretty likely and pretty fair. But with Texas, they were so close to it and so close from the championship. It sucks that they were 1 game away and couldn't get it done, but at least they got this far. And for me, I never expected them to. For them to make the playoffs, I would have thought that, maybe they could be a playoff team. I would be very certain with that. But to make it this far and to make it to this Calder Cup Final, I didn't expect that from this team that, doesn't have a lot of star prospects, doesn't have a lot of star guys on the team, but they all gelled together and they played together the correct way, and they got themselves this far. And of course, even though they couldn't get over the hump, I'm still very proud of what they were able to accomplish, what they were able to get done with a team that probably shouldn't have gone this far. But the Texas Stars will definitely have a good foundation going forward, and with guys and the prospects like Roop, Hines, Dennis Gurianov, and Jason Dickinson, having that experience, even though they didn't win the Calder Cup final, having that experience and going all the way and having all that playoff experience at AHL will definitely help them for the future, and will definitely help them for the NHL, hopefully, when they're able to come. And for that, you can't really put a price on experience like that because it really does help you throughout your career. And even though the team lost and they couldn't get over that hump, doesn't mean they can't get back. Now, it is, of course, hard to get back, but the team is good and the team is decent, and they could find their way back. It's going to be hard, but nothing is impossible. So I'm definitely proud of what this team accomplished. I did not expect them to get as far into the playoffs as they did at all. I did not expect this from them at all. Once they even got to the Calder Cup final, I did not expect them to get 7 games. And they've been crushing my expectations. They've been crushing a lot of people's expectations. And sadly, couldn't get over the hump. But they were able to get there. And that's all that matters. For me, they were able to get there, get some solid experience for the next time around when these prospects really need it. So that is going up for today, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe. Tell me down below what you think of the Texas Stars run this year. What do you think it'll help with those prospects coming up? Or what do you think of them losing to Toronto Marlies in 7 games? I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.